I dedicate this right here to every last one of y'all that show me love and support. You know, it's funny when people try
What's good, y'all? My name is Ace Patterson, stage name call me Ace. I'm out here in Oakland, the Bay Area. You know, I'm corporate by day, working big tech. And at night, I'm a independent Billboard charting hip-hop artist.
First things first. I just want to talk through your path to tech.
When I went to school, I did economics because, you know, I was a first-generation college student, and business is just what you're supposed to do in my mind. But I got a D in economics, so I was like, ooh, let me not try to be someone that I'm not, you know? And I did social cultural anthropology. That's what I graduated with. So a lot of writing. Somehow I end up in tech after going to business school. And now I'm both a poet and quants kind of person.
Tell me about being a first generation college student.
I would say that I wanted to be a rapper the entire time. Choosing Columbia was really just because it was in New York. I wanted to go there, Hot 97, birthplace of hip hop. I'm at this Ivy League institution rapping outside of my classes. I ended up creating the Columbia University Society of Hip Hop, which is a student group that exists to this day. At the time though, it was very much like just under the radar, any excuse to, you know, grow my fan base, so to speak. I graduated with an Ivy League education instead of blowing up in my first semester like Lauryn Hill.
All I know is I hustle every day until like 4 sun.
My whole life, little come to Jesus moment. Right before I graduate, I have a conversation with a friend of mine who reminded me that I have these skills to rap, but as I'm trying to convince him with all of these excuses that that's no longer my path, he was like, but your story and the way that you're carving your path, I'm not talking about trying to chase money or trying to chase girls. Like, I'm married, I have a real job, etc. He's like, yes, talk about that. I started realizing that by virtue of me sharing my point of view, sharing my narrative, sharing my world experiences and seeing how that affects people. And I talk about real stuff, you know, like I talk about when my aunt passed away. People have reached out to me saying how that's helped them be comforted when they've lost someone. Just seeing that I can impact and connect with people, or just by virtue of me doing what I'm doing, inspiring folks to achieve their dreams. I'm not gonna like lie to you and say that I sleep 9 hours a day every single day, but what I will tell you is that I feel very fulfilled in what I'm doing and the way that I'm doing it, and live out my passion.
Searching for an outlet for my laptop. Now you're at YouTube, which is known for creators. The tools that are at a creator's disposal now versus only, say, a decade ago allow you to do what?
Allow you to be more independent and be more autonomous with the way that you distribute, reach fans, build your own network and fan base. 20 years ago or 30 years ago, you couldn't even make music without having access to a studio. Whereas, you know, right now, the studio is in my closet. Being able to schedule your own shows and reaching out to fans. It's interesting actually to have all those analytics in front of you to see where my music's being played. Oh wow, I'm being Shazammed in Bratislava. Oh wow, this person from Russia heard my music on SoundCloud and now they're speaking to me directly via Instagram. I mean, it's just all in the palm of my hand right in front of me on the screen. So it definitely allows you to create your own business.
Independent artist blazing my own lane. You're touching on something that I think a lot of people maybe don't understand and can benefit from understanding, because you know we're talking a lot about Juneteenth this year and the problem with owning people, right? How that should, and so we're very focused on not being owned, but maybe we're not focused enough on ownership of our intellectual property, of our ideas from the business and economic standpoint.
As an independent artist who's dropped music independently, has done the revenue minus costs for myself, I see that I don't need to sell a lot to make a lot. Whereas if I'm doing it through someone else, if I just add all these middlemen, you know, I'm only getting percentages, I'm only getting pieces of what I could be doing myself. And so to go back to your question, when I think about independence, it's really, what is the size of the pie that I'm willing to be okay with? I understand that with a business, you need to at least break even with the money going out and money going in. But because of the position I'm in, I'm actually able to do kind of like what Amazon did in their earlier years, which is just overinvest. And I'm willing to be in the red if it means growing in the organic way that I intend to grow. How do you create a network of people that truly believe in your brand value and promise outside of the office and inside of the office? It works both ways. And so a lot of transferable skills, to be honest with you, as far as like, how do you grow in the corporate space? How do you grow as an artist?
3% of them sort of look like me, 2% from the same class as me.
And as an African American, reflecting on economic power and advancement, reflect on that path and where you hope it takes you.
As far as the way that I live my life, it's all about creating access and opportunity, especially for those that are in disenfranchised communities, such as the ones that I come from. I've gone back home and I've talked to the kids from my community, and they're like, because I see that you exist, like, I have belief in my future. I understand the power of representation, but what am I doing with this representation at the end of the day? And that comes through my music, and that comes through my actions as well.